Hi there, I'm Lucy McDonald, physiotherapist. Welcome back to my virtual clinic. Today I'm going to be telling you about shin pain in runners, what's causing it and what can you be doing about it. But before I do, let me just tell you a little bit about me and my team. My team and I are super passionate about keeping you running. We want to make sure that you are empowered with the knowledge to prevent injury, and then when injury does hit, that you know how to manage your injury best to make sure you can get back to enjoying your running. We hold weekly Q&A sessions where you can ask questions about your injury, pain or training, so please do come along to those. If you can't make it, and they're streamed on Facebook and all other social media platforms, if you can't make it, you can ask questions in advance, we will answer them, and then you can watch the playback. We also have a whole load of exercises, stretches, advice videos on our website, so please do go and check those out. The two that I would recommend that you watch now for starters would be the best exercises for runners and how I can recover, or the best ways of recovering from injury. So please do check those ones out. Now, the vast majority of running injuries, you don't need to stop running. It's more about modification of the injury. However, there are a very small number of running injuries that do require rest, and if you don't rest, then you can end up with life-threatening or limb-threatening issues. So it's really, really important that you get your injury checked out. Nowadays, with modern technology, there's no reason the geography doesn't stop you from seeking expert advice. We do video consultations that work fantastically. We have over 350 five-star reviews, so please do check those out if you want to find out how video consultations work. Best thing to do is to get in touch, email us reception@octopusclinic.com. So, shin pain in runners. What's causing it and what can you do about it? First things first is just establish the location of the pain in your shin. So is it more around the front of your shin, over the front of the tibia bone here? Is it in the muscle, over this muscle here, which is called your tibialis anterior muscle? Or is it more around the inside of the shin down the bottom here, with something we call medial tibial stress syndrome? So let's start with the first one. So probably the most severe out of these things is the pain over the front of the shin here. So over the very front, over the tibia bone itself. Now that's because that is a rare but significant injury. If you do have pain, particularly if it's localized over one particular spot over your shin, there's a high risk that there might be a stress fracture, or that pain might develop into a stress fracture, so an actual break in the bone. And if that occurs, it's super important that you rest it and that you do get a very clear diagnosis so that we can make a decent management plan for that fracture. Now, as a result, any pain at the front of the shin does need to be diagnosed, and I really would strongly advise that you don't run through shin pain for that reason, and that you do make sure you get a diagnosis. Now, if we go to the muscle next to that shin, that tibialis anterior muscle, hopefully if you have pain in there, it's just a bit of muscle damage. However, again, there is a rarer condition called compartment syndrome that can happen at the back of the calf as well, but also over the front of that muscle, that again needs urgent attention. So please do get either of those checked out ASAP. Hopefully, if we establish that it's just a bit of muscle damage there, then we can give you some strengthening exercises for that muscle while simultaneously reducing the load from your running, not completely stopping you from running, but reducing that load and strengthening that muscle, and then addressing any other biomechanical weaknesses that are happening further up. More on that in a bit. The other more common area to feel pain at the front of the shin is actually a bit further down, as I said, Down on the inner aspect here, as I said, it's called your medial tibial stress syndrome. Now, it's a bony injury, so it's most likely to be some degree of bony damage. Now, it can start very gently with a little bit of inflammation and some minor damage in there, and then it can develop. If you do continue to run through it and you do continue to create more damage, it can develop into stress fractures as well. So it's super important with even if your pain is on that inside part of your shin, not to run through the pain. With the vast majority of running injuries, we don't need to stop running, because most running injuries are soft tissue, so they're tendons or muscles. But with bony injuries, it's absolutely essential that we do stop running and don't load that bone excessively, which will enable it to recover. What we then need to do is, once it's fully recovered, is we then need to reintroduce impact and loading nice and steadily and quite frequently, so on a daily basis. But as I say, making sure it's pain-free, and then building up that load slowly but surely to then get you back to running. When you do get back to running, having transitioned through doing things like bunny hops and that kind of stuff, when we get you back to running, it's all about getting you back to walk running and then building up your time, your cumulative amount of time running. However, before we get to that stage, there are a few things that we know can contribute to shin pain in runners. And the first one, I would say, the most important one, is calf strength, and particularly a muscle in your calf called your soleus. You've got two main muscles in the back of your calf, two big muscles in the back of your calf, and one of them is called your soleus. If you do exercises with your knees slightly bent, that's thought to target that muscle a bit more. So calf strengthening exercises are important, but they must be pain-free, and you do need to get that diagnosis first. Because if you do them and you've got stress fractures, you'll make the stress fracture worse and potentially cause long-term damage. So with the calf strengthening, it's really important that you strengthen your calf muscles through the full range of motion of the ankles. So not just doing it up and down off the floor, but also letting your heel drop off the back of a step and taking it through that full range. It's also important to look at the other muscles that are involved with running. So particularly the big muscles like your glutes muscles, that are the big powerhouses of the body, and then so the glutes muscles are the ones in your buttocks, and then the fronts of your thighs, so your quads muscles as well. Also, you just generally want your body to be as efficient as possible. So you want to be working your core muscles and make sure that your alignment's right when you're doing your exercises. So making sure that when you're doing things like your squats and your lunges, that you're making sure that your feet, your knees and your hips are all nicely aligned. So you can go and have a look on the website, and we talk through in detail how to do all of those exercises to get the most out of doing them. So once you've got all of those under your belt, you also need to really make sure that you're looking at your recovery. Now, I know I talk about this with every injury because it is important with every injury, but we know particularly with shin splints, it's really important to get your nutrition right. So make sure you're getting all the nutrients that you need into your body to enable that recovery. Make sure that you're managing your stress, because we know that stress can contribute to shin pain. And also make sure that you're getting decent sleep. Now, I have done a video where I talk through practical tips that can help you improve your sleep, improve your stress management, and improve your nutrition. So please do check that out. I hope that's been helpful. Please do let me know if I can help with anything else. If you would like a video consult, we can do them anywhere. It doesn't really matter where you live. So please do get in touch. reception@Octopus Clinic. And in the meantime, just remember, don't run through shin split. Don't run through shin pain. And in the meantime, and don't forget, you can also come to our Friday Physio Q&A sessions if you do want some more free advice. So I look forward to seeing you there. And in the meantime, take care. Bye.